Hello friends! Hi, it's great to be back. I know it's been a long time, 9 months, almost 10 months since my last video, but I'm back again and setting up a new bullet journal for November. Before I start showing you my November setup, I'd like to just show you the dilemma I had in choosing a new notebook. I was sent these two notebooks from Arch and Olive before the launch. The first one is from the new winter collection, which is available now. This is a lovely white notebook. It's got a cloth cover and embossed with silver. The cloth's not the usual cloth, it's covered and it also sparkles. Now this is a really beautiful notebook. It's the standard 160 GSM pages, white dot grid, and I was just in love with it as soon as it came out of the box. But then I opened up this new Pink Bits and Arch and Olive collaboration notebook, and immediately I fell in love with the pink colour, and I'm also partial to gold, so I love the gold embossing and the little details. I prefer the gold Arch and Olive charm that comes at the end of the bookmark. Also inside is a bit of illustration from Pink Bits, and this is also a white 160 GSM notebook. You may have noticed that this video is longer than usual. It's over 20 minutes long, and that's because it's not just a November plan with me video. I'm also setting up my bullet journal for the year, so it's got some long-term spreads at the start of the journal as well. So when I started this journal, I didn't really have a theme in mind. I just had a few ideas that I'd seen out there that I thought I wanted to incorporate in my journal, and the first thing that I wanted to add was a simple 2021/22 cover page, and my inspiration for this was from Plant-Based Bride, where she just used a simple font and then filled it in with simple lines. I've chosen a slightly different font to her. This font I've used is called American Typewriter. It's a free font. It's one of my favourite ones. It's pretty basic, but it was already on my iPad, so all I had to do was type out the words that I wanted, size them to the size that I wanted, and printed it out on copy paper. And as you saw before, all I did was lightly shaded in the back of the paper with a pencil, taped it down, and then traced the letters. And what happens is the letters will get imprinted onto the page with that pencil from the back where you shaded it in, and then you can easily just trace over it with a pen. So that's the technique I've used throughout the setup this month. It's so much easier than creating the letters yourself, and all your lettering is consistent and even, and I just really love the way that it ended up looking. So along with the style of lettering that I've used throughout my setup this month and for my journal as a whole, I've decided to accent the pages using my favourite gold paint, which is a Fine-Tech Colero watercolour paint. This specific gold shade is, I think, Arabic Gold. It is my favourite. It's the shiniest. It's the most brilliant that I found out of the gold palette that I've bought. It's fairly inexpensive. I think at the time that I bought this it was about $18 US. I know that the actual size of the paint doesn't look very big, but it does last a long time. And also, just a tip with shiny paints, you need to kind of activate it first by adding some water and letting it sit for a bit, and make sure you mix it thoroughly, and try to get kind of a sludgy consistency so that when you do use it on your page, the gold is opaque rather than a little bit watery and see-through. If you're interested in any of the supplies that I used during this video, you can check them out in the caption below. I'll link them all. Just to be upfront, most of the links will be affiliate links where I'll get a small percentage if you purchase via the link. It won't cost you anything at all, and if I have discount codes for you, I'll also provide them in the caption below. So after my simple cover page, I decided to add a little quote, which I used some stamps to create. I'm not sure where I got the stamps from, but I think they're pretty cheap ones, seeing as the letters aren't very consistent, but I like the rustic look they give my page. The quote says, "Every day is a new beginning," which is pretty apt considering that I'm starting a brand new bullet journal on the month of November. Just a note that I did the stamping on top of the gold water paint and it kind of got absorbed into the paint, even though the paint was dry, so it doesn't really pop out of the page. I have thought about inking over it with using a gel pen, but I think I'm not going to bother because I'm worried that that just might smudge and look messy. So after those pages, I've included an index page and a page called Waiting On, which I'll list all my online orders. Still stuck in the middle of COVID here in little old New Zealand, and everything is taking extra long to get to us, so I have a tendency to forget what I've ordered, and this is actually going to be extra useful to me now, especially coming up to Christmas. And then of course after that, a spread that I always have in any bullet journal, and that is a future log. Again, I've used the same headings, and I've also used some calendar stickers from my Etsy shop, Rose K Paper Co. These are clear stickers, and I have a whole range of these, either Monday start, Sunday start, whatever suits you, different fonts, and they're just so much easier than writing out all the little calendars for 12 months of the year. So I've used those to save time. Then I'm just going to decorate the page using some simple leaves. I got kind of stuck with how I was going to decorate this page. I couldn't be bothered drawing some flowers. I think this was late at night, so I thought simple leaves. I made it interesting by doing a layer of solid black leaves and then another layer of leaves which are just the outline, and then on top of that, using the same gold paint, just slapping some gold leaves on top and filling in any of the white bits with some gold spots. I'm actually really pleased with how it looks. It's minimal but extra, I guess. So just to let you know that this video, it actually took me, I ended up with almost 4 hours of footage, and I've managed to condense that down to about 22 minutes, so don't be alarmed if you think you should be able to set up a whole bullet journal in an hour. You won't. This also took me the few hours over a couple of days. You can probably tell by the different lighting. In my video, it goes from dark to light, and some bits got great lighting while others are a bit ho-hum, and also there are outfit changes. Now for my future log, you can see that it starts in December. Even though I'm starting this bullet journal in November, there's no need to have November in my future log because I will have a monthly calendar in my November setup. So that's the first half of my future log. Usually a bullet journal lasts me about 8 months, so I do have to set up at least 8 months in my future log, and this time, because I'm done 6 months per double page spread, I will have a whole 12 months of a future log in this notebook. Right, so that's the setup of my bullet journal done. Short, sweet and simple. I'm going to move on with setting up for the month of November. So I've started off with a cover page. I'm keeping this super simple, using the same technique as before with printing out the text and tracing it into my bullet journal. And I'm just going to decorate the other page with some florals. Now, don't be fooled, I do not draw flowers from memory or without reference photos. For most of the flowers in my bullet journal this month, I trolled Instagram for reference photos. I ended up looking up ranunculus because the flowers are big with big petals, but not too many petals to make it hard to draw, and I ended up following the hashtag butterfly ranunculus, and there are so many beautiful flowers there, heaps of good reference photos for you to draw from. And with all the florals that I draw, I like to use fine liners, and these, my favourite fine liners are the Staedtler pigment liners. I usually do the outline of the petals and the flower itself with a larger fine liner, so usually a 0.5, and then I like to add the detail and the shading with a thinner pen, usually a 0.3 fine liner. So first spread of the month is usually my most important one, which is the monthly log, and again I'm going with my favourite setup, which is a calendar style monthly log. This month I've decided to make my squares a little smaller. These are 4x4. I do prefer bigger squares in order to fit all my stuff into them, but I don't know, I felt like aesthetic wise I wanted smaller squares so I'd have more white space on the page around the actual calendar. To the right of my calendar I've just got a space which I've headed up focus, and here I'm going to list the main things that I need to focus on for this month. And the main things that I have I'm going to focus more on getting out monthly YouTube videos for you guys. Also, if you've not heard the news, I'm now a member of the Archer and Olive design team. So monthly I have to produce a blog post for the Archer and Olive website. I'm pretty proud of the fact that I managed to make it onto the design team, and super happy to be part of such an amazing company and business. But I'm going to have to be a bit more focused and better at time management, so that's why my bullet journal is back. So now that I'm on the design team, I'll be getting products pre-launch, which I will be showing you all mostly on my Instagram. So if you're not following me, head over there and you can see sneak peeks before products are launched. I also have an affiliate code, ROSE10, which you are welcome to use to get 10% off any of your purchases from Archer and Olive. So carrying on with my November setup, I've actually decided this month to do a mood tracker. I'm not usually a fan of the mood tracker because I don't know, moods can vary a lot during the day, so it is a bit weird to just sort of label one day as being a happy day, but I just felt like I wanted an extra something to make me fill in my bullet journal on a daily basis. And I've gone with some florals on this page, and the moods will actually be entered into the leaves. So the leaves will be a different colour depending on my mood, my general mood for the day. As you can see here, there's been a lighting change and an outfit change. So just showing that I do take a break in between setting up my spreads, and I like to come back to my bullet journal when I'm fresh. Otherwise it does become a bit of a drag trying to set up your bullet journal, and it shouldn't be a task, it should be something fun and enjoyable to do. Now, in saying that, to explain my absence for the past 9 months, it actually got to be a bit of a drag trying to film setting up my bullet journal month after month after month. And I know I'm not hugely consistent like other YouTubers out there. There are some YouTubers who do this so consistently and they treat it as a full-time job, which it is, because it is hard work. Filming, editing, voiceovers, there's a lot of work to doing YouTube videos. But I just got a bit sick of it, and I felt like the joy was being sucked out of bullet journaling. I mean, if I wasn't filming this for you guys, I would probably be setting it up, lying in front of the TV, watching some trash TV like The Bachelorette or something like that. But now that I've had a huge break, I'm ready to get back at it, and I think I just won't put so much pressure on myself to create, elaborate spreads where I think other people will like. I'm just going to do what I feel like producing at the time. But this mood tracker, by the way, is my probably second favourite spread in this whole setup this month. I'm really proud of it. I just love the way the gold pops against the florals. And then of course I have a spending tracker, which is really useful to me. I like to write down everything I spend my money on. Coming up to Christmas, it will be huge, and I actually don't know if one page is going to be enough this month. So finally we have a habit tracker. I like to do a monthly habit tracker to keep all of them together rather than doing habit tracker weekly. This month I've got my usual 6 habits that I tend to track, which is exercise, no treats, no spending, flossing, eating fruit daily, and watering the plants, because I'm great at neglecting my plants. I've done all my actual trackers along the bottom of the page and left a lot of negative space on this page, and I just love the way it's looked, especially with the black and the gold. So the stencil that I used is a Whaaaat stencil, which I purchased just a couple of months ago. I love it, it's amazing. I don't know why I didn't buy one earlier. They're not that expensive, it's just the shipping that is expensive, but I did buy a whole bunch of other Whaaaat items as well. One of the items I did buy in my Whaaaat order was a 5-year journal, which I'm going to start next year, and I'm going to try and consistently write in that every day for the next 5 years. Kind of laughing at myself just thinking that, but we'll give it a try. I think it will be a great thing to look back on if I do manage to do it every day for 5 years. I really doubt it, but hey, we can all dream, right? So one of the reasons why this video is so long is because I haven't edited out any of the drawings of my florals. I know you guys like to see the whole process of that, so I've kept it all in, but I've sped it up really fast. So with my florals, obviously I draw the outline first and then I use a thinner fine liner to add the shading, and to be honest there's no real rhyme or reason to my shading, as long as the lines just flow with how the petals move, and if you think a part of the petal should be darker then you put more lines there. Basically I'm just faking it and somehow it works. So don't be scared to give it a go. If I can do it, you can do it. So that's the habit tracker for my setup this month, and that has got to be my favourite spread this month. So here is a quick flip through of my bullet journal for this month / the year coming. I hope you've enjoyed this plan with me. Thank you so much for joining me again. I'm sorry for the long absence, but if you are new here and you like the video, please like and subscribe using the buttons below, you know the ones. And again, thank you very much, and we will see you next month for December. Bye for now.